You've felt it. That creeping sensation of being outmaneuvered. The meeting where your idea was suddenly brilliantly rephrased by someone else and presented as their own. The date where you felt strangely off balance, agreeing to things you normally wouldn't, as if caught in a subtle current. The conversation with a friend that left you feeling drained and guilty, but you couldn't pinpoint the exact moment. The tables turned against you. This isn't random. It's not just a string of bad luck. It is a game, with rules you were never taught. You've been playing it your whole life, a pawn on a board you didn't know existed. The people who get ahead, who seem to effortlessly command respect and bend outcomes to their will, aren't just more charismatic or intelligent. They're using a playbook. They see the hidden levers of human psychology and are not afraid to pull them. But what if you could not only see these invisible rules, but rewrite them in your favor? There is a guide, written over 500 years ago, that lays bare the blueprint for modern power. A book so infamous, its author's name would become a synonym for cunning, manipulation, and the dark arts of influence. Today, we're opening that forbidden manual. That manual is The Prince, and its author is Niccolo Machiavelli. For centuries, this book has been called a Bible for tyrants, a handbook for the ruthless, and a roadmap to hell. But to dismiss it as merely evil is to willfully ignore its terrifying genius and its modern relevance. Machiavelli didn't invent these methods of manipulation. He was simply the first to have the audacious courage to document them, to codify the unspoken laws of power. He was a political realist who peeled back the polite surface of society to reveal the dark, humming psychological machinery underneath. He understood that power operates under its own distinct set of rules, completely separate from conventional morality. Ignoring those rules doesn't make you virtuous, it makes you a victim. The principles in this book are used every single day, in corporate boardrooms where careers are made and broken, in political campaigns that shape nations, and yes, even in your own social circles where status is everything. To understand these tactics isn't to become a monster, it's to build a shield. It's to develop an immunity. It's to ensure you are never again a pawn in someone else's game. Today, we're decoding the 5 most potent tactics from Machiavelli's playbook, translating his forbidden wisdom into the language of modern dark psychology. The first and most famous of Machiavelli's dark principles is his chilling answer to a timeless question. Is it better for a leader to be loved or to be feared? Machiavelli's answer is brutally pragmatic. He wrote that while it would be ideal to be both, the two rarely coexist. Therefore, if a choice must be made, it is far safer to be feared than to be loved. His logic is piercing. Love, he argued, is a bond of obligation held together by gratitude, which people, being inherently self-interested and fickle, will break the moment it becomes inconvenient. Love is a feeling you grant to others, you cannot control it. Fear, however, is a different beast entirely. Fear is maintained by a dread of pain which is ever present. Fear is a currency the powerful can mint themselves. It is a more reliable, more constant motivator, because it is rooted in self-preservation. In the modern world, this doesn't mean ruling with an iron fist, it is far more subtle. Think of the workplace. You have the cool boss who wants to be everyone's friend. They're loved, but deadlines are treated as suggestions. Their authority is softly questioned, and they're easily taken advantage of. Then there's the other boss. They are not your friend. They are demanding, their standards are relentlessly high, and the consequences for failure are clear and certain. You don't love them, but you respect their authority and you get the work done. You fear the professional consequences of letting them down. That fear, not love, ensures compliance. But Machiavelli adds a crucial warning. A leader must be feared, but must never be hated. He wrote, "A wise prince should endeavor to escape being hated." Hatred is what brews rebellion. The line is crossed when fear is no longer about predictable consequences, but about arbitrary cruelty. Especially, Machiavelli noted, when a ruler seizes his subjects' property or women. The modern Machiavelli understands this delicate balance. Inspire respect through a healthy fear of consequences, but never push so far that you become the target of unified contempt. To survive in a world of predators, Machiavelli believed a leader cannot afford to be one-dimensional. They must embody the spirits of two specific beasts. He wrote that a prince must choose the fox and the lion, because the lion cannot defend himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. Therefore, one must be a fox to recognize the traps, and a lion to frighten the wolves. The lion represents overt force, raw power, and decisive action. It's the strength to intimidate and win a direct confrontation. But strength alone is blind and reckless. The lion, for all its might, walks straight into a snare it cannot see. The fox, on the other hand, represents cunning, strategy, and the art of deception. The fox sees the trap long before it springs. It understands that not all battles are won with a roar. Some are won with a carefully planted whisper. A leader must be a fox to recognize deception in others and navigate the complex web of traps laid for them. This duality is the core of Machiavellian strategy. It is the wisdom to know when to be a lion, making a bold, public, and decisive move, and when to be a fox, being patient, gathering information, and actively misleading opponents. For Machiavelli, keeping one's word was a strategic choice, not a moral imperative. Honor is a luxury. Survival is a necessity. In a modern business negotiation, the lion pounds the table, makes loud demands, and tries to intimidate. The fox, however, might subtly leak false information to a competitor, feign weakness to draw out their true position, or create the illusion of other offers to inflate their own value. In social settings, it's the person who appears agreeable and harmless, all while absorbing information, identifying weaknesses, and building alliances behind the scenes. They play the unassuming fox, only revealing the lion's teeth when they are absolutely certain of victory. A united group is a threat. A fractured group is a resource to be managed. This is the cold, brilliant logic behind one of the most effective and insidious Machiavellian tactics: divide and conquer. A wise ruler, Machiavelli argued, should actively and artfully work to keep their adversaries from ever forming a unified front. He advised that a leader should endeavor with every art to divide the forces of the enemy. This is achieved by sowing seeds of discord. You can make one opponent suspicious of another's loyalty, or create a situation where they must separate their forces, fatally weakening them. By fostering suspicion, jealousy, and ego among others, you prevent them from coordinating an attack against you. Their energy is consumed by infighting and rivalry, leaving you secure and in control, often appearing to be above the fray. We see this constantly in office politics. A manager with two ambitious subordinates might subtly praise one for a skill the other lacks, assign a career-making project to one but not the other, or create competing teams with overlapping responsibilities. The two subordinates, now seeing each other as the primary obstacle to their own advancement, will never team up to challenge the manager. Their division becomes the very foundation of the manager's strength. On a larger scale, political strategists are masters of this. They amplify existing social divisions, along lines of culture, wealth, or ideology, to polarize the public. When the population is busy fighting with itself, it is far less likely to unite and challenge the ruling establishment. A divided public is a controllable public. In a world governed by perception, what you are is far less important than what you seem to be. This was one of Machiavelli's most groundbreaking and controversial insights. He argued that a prince must master the art of separating his public perception from his private actions. It is not only acceptable, but necessary to appear virtuous, while being prepared to act ruthlessly. Machiavelli lists the qualities universally praised in leaders: generosity, compassion, faithfulness, piety. He frankly admits it would be wonderful for a leader to actually possess all of them. But, he states, since human nature and the realities of power do not allow for it, a ruler must be shrewd enough to act against these virtues when necessary to maintain the state. The true skill lies in cultivating a flawless reputation for virtue, even while being prepared to abandon it at a moment's notice. He famously wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." Those few who know the truth will not dare to oppose the opinion of the many. This is the very foundation of modern public relations and brand management. Think of the corporation that spends millions on advertising that showcases its deep commitment to sustainability, all while its actual manufacturing processes cause significant environmental harm. The image of being green is what influences consumers and secures their loyalty, regardless of the reality. Politicians are the ultimate practitioners of this art. They meticulously craft an image of being a devout family person, a defender of the common people, and a pillar of integrity. This appearance builds trust and provides a powerful shield for the cold, ruthless political calculations happening behind closed doors. Power isn't just about what you do, but about the psychology of how and when you do it. Machiavelli provides a precise formula for wielding both harm and help, designed to manage memory and emotion. He advises that injuries ought to be done all at one time, so that, being tasted less, they offend less. Benefits ought to be given little by little, so that the flavor of them may last longer. This is a masterclass in controlling the emotional narrative. If you must take harsh actions, like downsizing a company or implementing an unpopular policy, do it all at once, decisively and quickly. There will be a single sharp shock of anger and pain, but then it's over. The wound, though deep, is singular. People begin to process it, adapt, and move on. A slow trickle of bad news, however, layoffs every Friday, a new restriction every month, creates constant anxiety, resentment, and a sense of instability. It keeps the wound fresh and the fear constant. Conversely, rewards, praise, and benefits should be distributed slowly and deliberately. A single large bonus is enjoyed and then quickly forgotten, becoming the new baseline. But small, unexpected perks, a public word of praise, a minor promotion, a small token of appreciation, an unexpected day off, keep people in a state of positive anticipation. Each small benefit re-triggers feelings of gratitude and reinforces loyalty. It makes your goodwill seem constant and thoughtful. This tactic turns leadership into a form of psychological conditioning. You concentrate the pain into a single survivable event, while distributing the pleasure to create a continuous feeling of favor and stability. The world of Machiavelli is a cold, unsettling, and pragmatic place. It's a world stripped of sentiment, where power is a science and human nature is a fundamental variable to be controlled. The 5 tactics we've explored, using fear over love, combining the fox's cunning with the lion's strength, dividing your rivals, mastering appearances, and carefully timing cruelty and benefits, form a potent and timeless blueprint for control. To learn these principles isn't an instruction to become a heartless manipulator. It is, instead, a vaccination. This is the forbidden knowledge that allows you to recognize these dark psychological arts when they are being used against you. It's an antidote to naivete. It empowers you to navigate a world that, whether we like it or not, often plays by these exact rules. True power is not about controlling others. It is about ensuring you are never controlled. It begins with seeing the game for what it really is, and understanding the motivations of those who play it. As Machiavelli himself wrote, a wise person should rely on what he controls, not on what he cannot control. Ultimately, the only thing you can truly control is yourself. What's the most Machiavellian tactic you've witnessed or experienced in your own life? Share your story in the comments below, and let's discuss. If you found this exploration into the shadows of power valuable, show your support by liking this video and subscribing for more deep dives into forbidden wisdom. Share this with someone who needs to learn the rules of the game.